Elizabeth I, the great Virgin Queen, ruled England for over 4 decades with wit, will, and an unshakable presence. But as the year 1603 drew to a close, even she could not escape the inevitable. In her final days, an unusual fear took hold of her, one that few understood at the time. She refused to lie down, standing for hours, even days, propped up by cushions in her private chambers. Some said it was stubbornness, others thought it illness, but the truth was far darker. Elizabeth knew what came after death for a Tudor monarch. She had seen the fate of her father, Henry VIII, whose own burial had been troubled. And she had heard whispers of what happened to the body of her sister, Mary I. The Tudor embalming process was not gentle. It was a brutal, necessary ritual to preserve the royal corpse for the long weeks before burial, and Elizabeth wanted no part of it. In Tudor England, death was not the end, not for a monarch. The body had to be preserved, displayed, and transported across the country for weeks before burial. And so, the royal embalmers set to work with methods that would seem horrifying to us today. The organs were removed, the body packed with herbs and spices, the cavities filled with linen and sawdust. The face was often covered in a waxen mask to hide the inevitable decay. But Elizabeth had given strict orders. She did not want this. She begged her advisers to bury her quickly, to spare her body the indignities of preservation. Yet tradition could not be denied. When she finally passed on March 24, 1603, her wishes were overlooked. The embalmers came, as they always did. Elizabeth's body was sealed inside a lead coffin, a necessary precaution, for even a queen could not halt nature's course. The funeral procession was grand, somber, winding through London streets as thousands watched in silence. But inside that coffin, something was happening, something no one could see. The lead held secrets, trapping the slow, inevitable changes within. For 265 years, Elizabeth rested beneath Westminster Abbey, next to her sister and rival, Mary I. The two queens, who had clashed so bitterly in life, now lay side by side in death. And there they might have remained, had the Victorians not grown curious. In 1868, Dean Arthur Stanley of Westminster Abbey made a decision that would haunt him. He ordered the opening of Elizabeth's tomb, seeking to confirm the Queen's final resting place. What he found was not what he expected. The lead coffin had done its job too well. The body inside had undergone a transformation, one that defied the Victorian understanding of decay. The investigators recoiled. The Queen's face was no longer recognizable, her form altered by centuries of chemical reactions within the sealed coffin. The waxen mask had melted, the features beneath distorted by time. And yet, there was a strange piece to it. Elizabeth and Mary, side by side, their rivalry finally stilled. The discovery shook the Victorians. They had expected grandeur, perhaps a perfectly preserved monarch. Instead, they found the humbling truth, that even the greatest rulers are subject to time. Elizabeth's fear had been justified. The embalming, the lead coffin, the slow decay, none of it could stop what comes for us all. And so, the tomb was sealed once more. The investigators left with a new understanding of death, and some secrets were better left undisturbed. Elizabeth and Mary remain there still, their stories entwined, their rest unbroken. And so, dear listener, the tale comes to an end. Elizabeth rests, the abbey stands silent, and the night grows deeper around you. Let your thoughts drift now, like candle smoke curling toward the ceiling, soft, slow, peaceful. Perhaps you imagine the flicker of torchlight on stone, the whisper of a Tudor gown brushing the floor, or simply the quiet of history, waiting patiently for the next curious soul to listen. Sleep now, and dream of forgotten halls, of secrets gently buried, of time moving on, as it always does. Good night.